Hello everybody, back again with another review. Today's review is going to be over the DC Multiverse Batman from his first appearance. Now there are two versions of this figure. There is the Platinum version, which pretty much the only difference between this one and that one is the blue hands, and the fact that that version as well has some blue shading going on, and the cape's a bit different as well. So I guess there's more differences than what I made it sound like in the beginning, but there is that. I decided to just go after the regular version because I just like it better. I don't really care for the shading look, although the cape on the Chase version is a lot better. Or not Chase version, Platinum version, even though it's more like a Chase, I guess you can say at this point, because trying to hunt it down. With that being said, let's go over the actual packaging. So as you can see, it's 12 plus, just like every other figure. And then you have the 22 moving parts here on the actual tab. And then here at the side, you're going to see DC Multiverse there at the top with Batman from Detective Comics number 27. And then on the back, you're going to get this nice artwork. It's pretty unique. I feel like it's a pretty good choice, just kind of show off his first appearance and kind of give that comic book look as well, since you can see 64 pages of action and 10 cents. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool, pretty unique, different from most figures. Then here on the side, you'll see DC Multiverse once again, Batman, QR code for those who may be searching still. Here is the actual barcode here at the bottom. But with that being said, let's get into the actual figure. Starting off, first thing you're going to get is a black display stand. Nothing special about it. Just the DC logo, the 1 foot peg. Talked about it plenty of times before, so no reason to continue talking it over. Now next thing that is included is the actual card. And what I do like about this card is that the art you saw on the back of the box pretty much is all here. Nothing is really cut off. It's actually just shrunken down to fit, which I wish they did more often instead of cutting off that beautiful artwork in back of the box and making it different on the card by cutting out a lot of detail. So I like that they kept it that way. And then here on the back, you're going to get a little read up of a Batman. Seems to be a little different, but like for the most part, it's just a typical Bruce Wayne / Batman write up, which they kind of explain more. I mentioned this time and time again, which they kind of just go in more detail, more about the figure, what it's based off of, and a little read up of that comic instead of talking about the character, because we all know mainly Batman's background story, how he came to be. And starting with the accessories, you get a little wrench piece. As we all know, Warner Bros. Can't include any guns or anything like that, although Batman does not use guns by any means, so there's that. But here is a little wrench, which does match his first appearance, because I think he does use it at one point. Not a comic person, but just based on what I read. Then you'll get one extra hand, little grippy hand for the actual right hand. And then same thing goes for the left hand. Same purple hand or purple glove, you can say. Another grippy. And then you're going to get a right and left of this hand. As you can see, here goes the left hand. And then here is the right hand. So more just kind of, I guess you can say, handshake or just straight out palm hand as if he's running or flying. So there is that. And last but not least, the reason you all are here is for the actual figure. So as you can see, you're going to get a nice, beautiful face sculpt going on here. Kind of a grin. Kind of looks evil in terms of a face expression, but there is that. I think it looks pretty good for what it is. A little bit different. And one thing I can say too as well is that the head seems to be a little, I don't know what to say it, kind of like it faces down more often. The neck's kind of just awkward in my opinion for what it is. Just because, yeah, it has that kind of like angled down look to it. So it kind of makes you want to put it down, but you can raise it up a little bit. In terms of the logo, that is accurate in terms of the logo. And I've seen people mention that, yes, probably could have done a different body sculpt because he doesn't look this beefy or kind of bulky. He's more skinny. So this may have not been the right sculpt to go with, but to me, I don't think it really makes a big difference. So that's just my opinion. And yeah, he has a simplistic look, but one thing I do like about this figure, and many like as well, is that he does have an actual wired cape, so you can do a lot of poses with it. Pretty fantastic in general when it comes to posing, articulation, I guess you can say, because that really adds to the detail and what you can do with the figure. And it's even better on the platinum version. Like I said, that's my favorite part of the platinum version, although I'm not going after it, is that it has blue on the inside, and I think the black is on the outside, so that's pretty cool to have a two color tone cape in general. But yeah, the wired cape does and works a lot of wonders, and really saves space in terms of shelving, because obviously don't have to deal with some thick plastic cape that could potentially knock over another figure, kind of cause you to push in on the figure in general when you're displaying it as well. So this really works wonders, and honestly makes it a really great figure to me. And then other than that, not much detail going on, just kind of like typical grayish blue, kind of has like a blue hue to it, so there is that. And then yeah, it's really simplistic, which really matches the actual first appearance, because pretty simplistic when you look at it that way. But yeah, I think it's pretty well done for what it is. But yeah, with that being said, let's get into the actual articulation. So like I mentioned, the head kind of seems like it looks better or wants to more kind of be in this pose, and that's how it is in the box. But you can move the head up and down, no issue. You can go side or down and around a little bit. It's a little stiff on mine, but I guess that's one issue too, is that when you start to move it around, you're gonna get a big gap there. As you can see, that's not ideal, which is probably why it seems like they rather you kind of pose it down. And yeah, you can still see it too as well. When you raise it up, there's a gap. So yeah, that's not good by any means, but yeah, you can move it side to side, but yeah, you're gonna start seeing gaps when you get to a certain point when you raise it up and around. But in terms of looking down, you can look down this much, and then he can look up about this much. Another thing too is that I know the ears probably should be more pointed out instead of being, I mean, they're pointed out a little bit, but not as much as they should be. Should be more kind of like coming out this way instead of going up. But yeah, there is that. But yeah, there's the articulation when it comes to the actual head. Just a bummer that there is those gapping issues. But when it comes to a T-pose on the arms, you can see no issue doing that. Be able to get it up, down, and around. The cape doesn't get in the way since it is an actual cloth or wired cape that is. Ball joint, a little swivel there. Go and get a nice bicep cut as well. Help with articulation. Then when it comes to the elbow, be able to get it to go that much, which is the pretty much normal ideal for McFarlane figures. And when it comes to the actual wrist, see if I can get it down. Here we go. I think this is it. Here we go. Be able to get it down about this much, and then in terms of raising it, about that much. So not like a crazy amount, but pretty much just all you need. So there is that when it comes to the actual arms. And when it comes to the bicep cut, not bicep cut, oh my gosh, that's like 2 videos in a row I've done that. When it comes to the ab crunch, be able to get it go back this much. But yeah, it starts to expose the top there or underneath, so that's probably not ideal as well. Seems to be a common thing with this figure already, is just a bunch of gapping issues and then exposure on the inside. And when it comes to going forward, the crunch forward about this much, pretty much just the standing up pose, I guess you can say. And then you're going to get a wide range of motion there when it comes to articulation in the abs or torso in general. And when it comes to the splits, the diaper is going to allow you to do it a little bit. Seems like it doesn't want to go all the way up, but I think that's all you need, is just that amount. Then when it comes to the actual knee, be able to get to go this much. And one thing I forgot to mention or do, the legs can go forward about this much. And then when it comes to going back, about that much. So that's very, very flexible. But yeah, like I said, to see some exposure going on there underneath. And when it comes to the actual foot, be able to get it to go down and around, down this much, and then get to go up a little bit, not crazy amount, but that is because of the boot. And then toe articulation, here you go. Pretty much always a guaranteed on McFarlane figures. Don't think I've had one that failed in that term or that aspect yet. But yeah, it's pretty much in terms of articulation, that's what it can do. Already you can see, yeah, there's a lot of exposure issues, which I'll mention in my final thoughts. But that being said, let's get right into, obviously, my final thoughts. What are my final thoughts on this figure? Well, overall, I think it is pretty well done. It's a simplistic character or Batman appearance in general. The only issues I would say is the fact with the actual head, and the fact that if you raise it up, there will be that gappage underneath and exposure, and the fact the same goes into the actual abs if you raise it at a certain point, although that's less crucial because that only appeared when you really bent it back all the way compared to the head, where if you try to just raise it up to the normal amount, it would be exposed. But I really like the wired cape. I wish they would do that more with other figures in the future, which pretty much they will start be doing with the actual Cassandra King coming, or the one that I guess is already out. She's already out, and that's coming in a future review. But overall, paint application is there. Yes, they could have went with a different body style in general to make it a little more accurate, but I don't really have an issue with that. And in terms of accessories, I feel like it's pretty well done. I like the additional hands, but there's not much else to really go over this figure. It's very simple, and the wired cape really works wonders. And like I already mentioned, I just love that so much. It really helps from a wide variety of different aspects. So when it comes to my rating, I have to say, just because of those gapping issues, I have to go a 9 out of 10 from me. But that's pretty much the only issue I see with this figure. And that's going to wrap up today's review. And until next one, I'll see you in the next video. Have a great time collecting, and peace out.